Basically, today we will be discussing about the reading sub test. In the real exam, reading is your second sub test after listening. So we are starting the class from the reading. In reading sub test, we have total of 2 parts with reference to time. In terms of time distribution, reading test can be divided into 2 parts, like part A, this is one component, and part B and C, this is second component. So why I have distributed in reference to time? Because first of all, they will be giving you paper for part A, and you will be having just 15 minutes time to complete that part, not only to read, but to attempt all the 20 questions within the given time. The question paper that will be given to you, it will be your question paper and it will be your answer sheet. You are not supposed to transfer your answer anywhere, but you have to write it down on the question paper that I will be displaying in a moment. Anyhow, so there will be 4 short extracts and we have 20 questions. After 15 minutes time, they will take this part back from you. Then we have part B. In part B, there will be short health related extracts. There are 6 multiple choice type of question and there are 3 options with each question. So 6 different extracts. Part C is kind of research oriented or academia related text. Length may vary from 700 to 800 words. There are 2 different extracts from the healthcare side, extract 1 and extract 2. And the nature of questions will be multiple choice 4 option. Anyhow, so you can see there, okay. So you can see there, just a minute, candidates are joining. Here you can see that in part A, they will be assessing your skill, how much fastly you can read and how much information you can retain at the same time. So it's the speed reading skills. Above that speed reading skills, you need to learn skimming and scanning. It's a universal skill. Skimming means to extract the gist of the paragraph just by reading the topic sentence or maybe the conclusive sentence. And scanning means to mark some important keywords that you believe would be helpful for you to find your answer or to, solve your answer for location and for solution. Basically, for part A, you just have to have a bird eye view first. What I mean by the bird eye view, that you must remember at least 30 to 40% of the information of each text. You have to highlight some important point. And most of the time, we have a plain text without heading. So you have to give yourself heading. By reading the first line or 2 lines, just give a heading to that paragraph. And while reading the topic sentence and conclusive sentences, try your level best that you should read thoroughly. Do not rush while reading the topic and conclusion, because at time you can see there is a significant information that has been given to you in a topic sentence. You must do the smart reading. What I mean by the smart reading, if you are reading the first statement and you would have an idea that it's a vague statement, they have not given any important information in the first line, you just jump on to the second or third line and start reading from there. So it should be a smart speed reading skills that you must have in part A. Do not just go and read thoroughly each and every steps of the reading. Just read first line or maybe second line. If you won't be able to understand like the central idea of the paragraph, or maybe if they have not pitched anything important, it means that this is a vague information. So just jump on to the second or third line. While reading from the second or third line, you would have an idea. Just write in front of that paragraph, okay, they are discussing this thing, if you're not that good in memory. But still, even if you're good, better to write it down to create a self-heading to the paragraph. So just a descriptive, you can say, view of your 4 texts. In this format, you will receive the 4 texts. This is a descriptive view, sorry. So let's say this is part A. Among them, text A. This is one of the texts that I have highlighted for you. Let's say if you can see, this is the main topic, this fracture, dislocation, and sprain. And fortunately, they have created heading by themselves. Let's say if I can omit this information, if there is no like bold information like that, and if it's a complete paragraph, I have to create myself the self heading. Anyhow, after that, just, okay, this is about a fracture. I would see, okay, this is the cause of the fracture. So I have highlighted the cause. Okay, then we have closed and compound structure is already highlighted. I will not be reading it. Then I believe, okay, it could be overlying skin or maybe intact. I just have marked it down. In dislocation, maybe I would similarly, I would mark the outstretched hand, an important word, may be helpful for me, and sprain, ligament, or capsule of a joint as an important word. So summarize the part A. What we can learn from the part A, okay, this is in the background you would have in your mind. This is the types of fracture in generally. And these are some of the keywords I would remember. It may be helpful for me to locate my answer, right? Anyhow, afterward, we can see this is the text B. I have split it down for you because it was not like on the same screen. So you can see, okay, the bold information is immediate management, clinical exam assessment, examination, and management. This is the three parts of your text B or the management part. So we try to remember these three parts at least, initially that, okay, the text B can be divided into three parts: immediate, clinical, and long-term management. So what we have in the immediate management, so, okay, I'll just see, okay, this important is pressure bandage. Obviously, I will go in that, but I will try to remember what the pressure bandage is. Just a minute, please. You can see there that we have created, different areas in the text B, and now we can see, okay, in terms of immediate management, I'll just go quickly and find the possible keywords. Train yourself to find the important words. Let's say, okay, in the immediate management, we have maybe direct pressure, we have immobilization and pain relief. So try to remember. Then in the clinical assessment, it's about the patient history. Okay, maybe anticoagulant. Okay, maybe color, temperature. Just mark it down: painful, swelling, right? And so on. Let's say throbbing. Just quickly read it down. Let's say if they have to check the shape, the temperature, and if it's getting bigger, right? Similarly, for the management, we need to see that, okay, they're talking about a splinting. They also have discussed about a plaster backslap over here, but splinting, alleviation, analgesia, and if you can see that unrelieved by splinting, elevation, or analgesia, this is a condition called compartment syndrome. So this is an important word. I will remember it. Similarly, I will go on and read text C. In text C, okay, it's about the drug survey protocol. Authorization mean I need to find a person who will be authorized or the agency. So you can see that with this abbreviation, it would be easy for me to pick. So with skipping this line, I'll just go directly to the, okay, authorized indigenous may consult medical officer or nurse practitioner, right? I will go to this point. Then we can see that they have discussed about the routes of delivery, intramuscular and intravenous. These are the routes of delivery. So then we have some dosage, 0.1 to 0.2 milligram per kg and maximum of 10 milligram. And then we have intravenous route. And here they have discussed about few things. We also like to see this thing. The 70 years is important, let's say. Then vomiting, drowsiness is important, let's say. And respiratory depression is important, right? So we can just mark these things down for our understanding and we'll try to remember them. Followed by text D. In text D, these are the techniques for plaster backslab. In this part, you can see there, these are the procedures or the techniques that has been mentioned for the plaster backslab. There are 8 steps in that. So first one is the non-compression stockinette. Just remember that from halfway up to the middle finger, like it's close to the middle finger. Cotton padding, full length of cotton stockinette. Okay, maybe we can see that plaster of Paris maybe, or jewelry maybe, and neutral position maybe, or extra padding and creep bandage. So try to remember these information as much as you can. Still, as you will be doing this test with me right now, I'll be displaying this thing on the screen so that you can read. I'll be giving you 30-second time to read each text, right? So you have to read in 30-second time, so your time start now. For each text, I'll be giving 30-second time. After that, you can see there what to record when assessing a patient. Assessment was in, yes, it's B. And the term used to describe different type of fractures. Yeah, yeah, it's A. And how about the practitioner who administered analgesia? Yeah, it was in C. You can see there, it's written, this is authorized medical officer and nursing practitioner. That's why it should be C. And what to look for with checking an injury? So you remember, let's say, checking mean it was in check whether in the B part. Yes, you're right. And how fracture can be caused? So question number 7 should be, yes, it's A. So basically, if you have skim and scan the paragraph, you can start in this approach and you can go for 1 to 7. But after practicing few tests, if you believe that I'm not getting a good score, like we would like you to get 7 out of 7 in this part, but if you're not getting a good score, we can change a bit, right? We can change a bit a strategy to start from question number 8 to 20, right? Okay. Now we can see this is your answers that we have discussed. The first one was C, second one was D, third was B, fourth was A, fifth was C, sixth B, and seventh A. Now, these are the next type of question. These are the word or short phrase. You have to write down the word or short phrase, kind of sentence completion, right? What should be used to alleviate a patient fracture leg? Okay, for this question, after reading this question, if it's give you a click that it was in, let's say, text A, B, C, we will attempt this question. But if you will not give you a click, then we will not attempt this question, but we will move on. Let's say if it's give you a click, and if you remember the answer, it's better to write down the answer. But if you don't remember, you will go question part. We can see it was in the management, alleviate, and for leg injury, a pillow would be the right answer, or even a pillow would be the right answer, right? Yes, pillow would be the right answer. Okay. Similarly, what is the maximum dose of morphine per kilo? It's not only maximum, it should be per kilo at the same time. And the route is intramuscular. We would have an idea, it should be in text number C, as we just have reviewed that. So you can see what would be the answer. Yeah, 0.2 milligram per kg. Yes, you're right. The answer to this question should be 0.2 milligram per kg. At times, student would have written an answer 10 milligram. It would be wrong because they are not asking the maximum dosage, but they're asking maximum dosage per kg. Okay, not only that. So next one is which part of limb may need extra padding. So here we can see extra padding. It should be in which paragraph? Yes, it should be in the D. We will go to the D and we can see it's written over here. Yes, this is the right answer. You can see the point number 7. Part D, yes, you're right. Part D in the techniques for plaster backstab, we can see and right answer for that. These are the right answer. You can see over here. Now we can see the next question. What should be used to treat a patient who suffer respiratory depression? So if you remember that keyword we had marked, so we will go and find the location of respiratory depression. It's written in the last line of text C. Yeah, so we have answer as a yes, null is in. So we can move on and find the answer. Next question. Okay, yes. Now we can see there, what should be used to cover a freshly applied plaster back slab? As you can see that I have put cross on the freshly applied. Now freshly was a distractor. We will be looking for the plaster back slab. What should be applied to cover a plaster back slab? So we know that it should be in delta. Yes, creep bandage. Not only creep, but should be creep bandage. Yes. So we can see this is the answer for that question. And next is, what analgesia should be given to a patient who is allergic to morphine? Yes, fentanyl. And what condition might a patient have if severe pain persists after splinting, elevation, and repeated analgesia? You can go and, oh my goodness. Yes, compartment syndrome is the right answer for that. So we can see that this is the right answer that we have to write it down in the blank. You need to be critical while transferring the answer from the text to this question paper, because this will be your answer sheet. Try not to have any spelling mistakes, right? Anyhow, now we have 15 to 20 parts, that is fill in the blanks. Unlikely your short answer part, here you must be grammatically correct. What I mean by that, because you can see these are the fill in the blanks, there's a possibility you have to change the form of the word. If it's a noun, you may have to change to adjective, or maybe if adjective back to noun or verb, and so on. According to the requirement of the sentence, you have to see if it's relevant or not. Now we can see the falling and outstretched hand is a typical cause of a dash, right? So what should be, we should be looking for that answer. It was in text, let's say A. We'll go directly to text A and you can find your answer. Yes, elbow dislocation, not only dislocation, elbow dislocation, right? We should write as answer. If you have written dislocation, I believe the answer might not be correct as per the question, let's say. As you can see that, okay, let me see. Sorry, it should be dislocation, you're right. Elbow is written in the statement. Yeah, even if you have written elbow dislocation, it would be wrong then. It should be dislocation as per the, we can say, question demand. Now we can see the next one. We can see the next one. What would be the right answer for that? Yes, it's already we have done for that. And we can see the next one. Patient isn't wearing any dash. We can go and find our location. Jewelry, yes, we remember that. And after that, we have to see, sorry, check to see if whether swollen limbs are dash or increasing in size. We can go, and where we can go in this paragraph, which paragraph we can go to find the answer? It should not be inflamed. I will go to the paragraph. If you can see, this is paragraph number B. It's over here. throbbing or getting bigger, right? So basically, to answer this question is throbbing, right? The answer to this question is it's your swallow limbs are dash. Increasing in size was already written in the text, so we can write it down. Just the throbbing over here. In a plaster back slab, there is a layer of dash closer to the skin. So plaster back slab means it should be in delta. I can display the delta text. Not 50% overlap. Closest to the skin. Where we can find that point? Any candidate, if you have found the answer to this question, it's in the text D. Yes, answer should be cotton stockinette. The answer should be cotton stockinette, right? So we can write it down that as answer. And patient 8 dash and over. What would be the answer for that? Yes, 70. You're right. So you can see that in this approach, we can go for part A. Let's say after 15 minutes of your time, they will take this part back from you. And then we can start with the, okay, just a minute, sir. As you can see that after 15 minutes of your time, they will take this part back from you and they will hand over you the question from part B and C together. So in this component, part B, there are 6 questions. And with each question, we have we can say separate text extracted from different healthcare related topic. There will be policies. It could be an email, a circular email within the department. It could be a guideline, instruction, change in policy, manuals, and so on that you can see over here. So language is majorly professional in part B of your reading. In this part, they will be assessing your skill to understand the central idea behind the text or the purpose of the information, that why they have narrated information. When it's come to purpose, at times the purpose of mentioning the information can be written in the first line or maybe in the last line. However, you still have not to rely on this fact only. You just have to understand the gist of the paragraph, right? You must have a generic overview before you can make a judgment. In part B, mostly the answer will be highly paraphrased. It's less likely you can have the answer that has been given within the same words that has been used in the text. The answer will be paraphrased, right? So what we would do in part B and C, we will practice the elimination method. Do not go for the right answer, but go for the best one. At time, it has been seen that sometime we have two options that are already being mentioned in the text. So it's not the case that you have to select whichever you believe first is the right answer, but you have to see and you have to eliminate the rest one out before you can make a judgment, right? So ideally speaking, we have 2 minutes per question. So here you can see, let's say this is a text, a background statement. The manual informs us about a blood pressure monitor. Now we have 3 options. Is likely to interfere with the operation of other medical equipment, right? May not work correctly in the close proximity of other devices, and should be considered to safe in all hospital environment. So before we can approach toward the text, you can see that A and B, they are in the close call. There's a possibility that you can be on the fence while selecting either it's A or either it's B. So you can see that instruction manual, it's about the digital automatic blood pressure manual. We can go on and read this text before we can select the answer. So you can read it thoroughly before you can make a judgment. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes time to read it. Your time starts now. You can see in this part, though they have mentioned the partial part of the statement, like what must all staff involve in the transfusion process, they have nothing mentioned in the first paragraph. In the second line, let's negate the option B. Though they have mentioned attend a course, you can see for ensuring that they attend the mandatory training, you can see the same word they being used to distract you. So attend a course to learn about new procedure. They have nothing, they have not mentioned anything about the new procedures. That's why we can easily negate B as answer. Now, read the document that explains change in policy. We have something, let's say relevant training course are clearly identified in Appendix 1. So now it's not mentioned anywhere about C. From this line, staff must ensure that if they take part in the transfusion process, their competency assessment is updated every 3 years, right? So we can see there, you have to understand that competency assessment has to be done after every 3 years. That's why existing training is still valid. So staff must involve if they take part in any of the transfusion process. What is mean by any person who somehow in any, you can say caliber, will be involved in the transfusion process, they must assess their competency after every 3 years. So in other words, if you can see whoever is going to go for transfusion, he must have this thing as a valid. Their competency assessment should be valid. That's why our answer to this question is right? Is it clear to all of you?